Hey everyone, Bo at the Blacktop Nomad here, and I'm excited to finally be able to announce the release of our new SoCal Speed t-shirt available right now on the blacktopnomad.com, so be sure to check that out after the video. So to celebrate the release of this latest design, I wanted to do something kind of fun. So I bought this because I can't think of a better way to release a t-shirt than to try and replicate it out of Lego. So without any further ado, let's dive into the video. Okay, so the kit from Lego gives you two different building options. You can either build the 911 Targa, or you can build the wider body 911 hardtop. To try and better capture the design from the t-shirt into this build, I'm going to try and combine both versions of this model and build a narrow body 911 hardtop. I think doing so will help give this model a more vintage appearance, and that's part of the goal with this build. Is I'm going to try and age it a little bit. I want this 911 to look a little bit older than the model that Lego is basing this kit off of. For the most part, this build is going to be fairly straightforward, and I'll be following the majority of the instructions provided with this kit. The only real deviations are going to come when the kit has you choose between the Targa or the wide body. I'll be going back and forth between the two sets of instructions to kind of cherry pick the elements I want to design and put onto this model. So the overall goal of the project is to give this model upgrades and keep it authentic to what I feel like many of the SoCal racers would have been doing in the mid-70s with their 911 club racers. So I will be giving this model the turbo. I will have to modify it slightly so I can incorporate the slope deck into the design. We'll have to do some slight modifications to the top of the engine just so it will clear. I'll also have to grab a handful of smooth tiles and plates just so I can incorporate hardtop onto the car. For the most part, all the elements are there that I need to complete this model, but I do have to dive into my own bucket to grab a couple small tiles and plates just to complete the fenders and some sections of the hardtop. If I had to nitpick, there are a couple things I think that could have been done a little bit better. Having a printed tile that more accurately reflects the instrument panel of the early 911s I think would have been a nice touch. Not that there's anything wrong with the panel Lego has provided here. I just think it would have been neat if they would have included a printed tile that was a more accurate replica of the original. And if I were to search for other areas to nitpick, I was slightly bothered by the fact that the turn signals in the front are translucent versus in the rear where they are a standard brick color. Overall, I don't think it detracts too much from the model, but when you look at it from a side angle, there is a stark contrast between the two, and if you're OCD like me, it can tend to bother you a little bit. I would also like to see them come out with matching colored axles for the front and back. Having the brown up front and the gray in the rear, I think makes the wheels look a bit awkward. Even if you put the silver caps on the ends, you can still see the contrast between the two brick colors. And for high-level models like these, I would just like to see a little more continuity. The Lego Mustang also has a similar issue, and while it's not a huge deal, it's one of those details that if you focus on it, it will tend to bug you just a little bit. It could just be my OCD, but it does tend to bug me when certain elements don't match each other. And I'm curious to know if little things like this bother you as well. Let me know down in the comments. Okay, and with that we have a finished model. I think it came out really well, and I'm excited to start adding a few custom elements to this set. Going forward, my plan is to add a few custom elements to the set to give it a more track car feel. So in part 2, I'll be adding a few extra items such as a roll cage, racing seat, and a custom livery to round out this build. Until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next update, and I'll see you in the next video.